Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to tonight's live stream. We're going to be doing an electronics tutorial where I'm hopefully going to be able to show you all of the little tips and tricks and features in the suit, opening and closing the mask and all that, how everything's actually wired, how the eyes come on and off, and it's basically going to be breaking down the individual systems on the suit. Now, the systems are really basic, and that's what I want to kind of cover tonight with you guys. I'm going to warn you right off the bat, I was already having some camera problems today. I don't know, I think another driver got corrupted, so we're going to try to push through that, but hopefully I'll be able to make up for that. Yeah, so we're going to be kind of going over the light interruption, what's the word? diagram or circuit for the eyes turning on and off, really how the servos are wired. This is actually going to probably be a pretty involved electronics tutorial, so hopefully that will help you guys. And you can take all of this stuff and put it all together and get something like this. So I got a lot of things laid out actually. So we're gonna jump into that. Let me get this off, hang it up so it doesn't, cause us any problems at any point. And yeah, I'm excited, guys. Hopefully the audio's good. There's gonna be no ambient music or anything in the background right now because I want you guys to be able to hear me. But let's get this started. And luckily the gimbal will help us. So, let's see, what do we got? Yeah, I'm working on the transition. I bought about a month ago, still on here. Hello guys, really awesome. Does the stream quality look okay? Because OBS is not, okay, I guess it's just the rendered preview. So lighting's gonna be, I'm gonna try to make lighting as crucial as possible for this one, because there's so much. I actually have control of my light up there with my phone now, so that's kind of nice. I can set the mood, I can change it. Yeah, so this helps with videos a lot. So we'll put it like right there, get it nice and bright. Cool. All right. So yeah, welcome to the channel. If this is your first live stream, it is a very, for the most part, a two-way conversation. Because there is a lot to go over, I'm going to be doing my best to. I'll explain a little bit. We'll probably pause at every half hour. We'll pause at 8:30, 9, 9:30, and then we'll wrap it up at 10, depending on where you're at. Because I want to focus on going through the systems with you guys in this. And so please save those questions for those little breaks. I'm not going to be really talking about 3D printing. Don't ask, cosplay related stuff. This is going to be electronics and everything that kind of goes into that. I'm also going to be explaining some of the electronics that go into such items like my infinity stone prop. So we'll just move a couple of those over here because there's a couple different systems integrated throughout them, and I want to talk about them from magnetic contacts to, actually I don't know if any of them have reed switches anymore. I totally forgot to set these up over here, so that's my D. Yeah, so I hope everybody's having a good Sunday. A little tesseract. Ooh, nice and blue. Fancy schmancy. And we'll just turn on the Eye of Ogamoto. My worst prop ever. This thing is terrible. I shouldn't even be doing this because it's so bad. So, yeah. Hi. You showing us how you did the faceplate? I actually am going to kind of go over the 2 or 3 different wiring systems for making the faceplate open and close. On its basis, I'm going to show you how to use a DPDT switch. This is just the quickest way to do it without using a servo, so we're going to kind of go over this and how to wire this up. I am also going to explain the dual relay board I use for actually powering the faceplate in my suit. This is exactly what I use to make the faceplate open and close with the finger switches. So I'm going to try to do my best to explain that all, and I'll also go over a single relay board. Now these are Arduino based boards. These are meant to be used with Arduinos, but you don't need to do that. As long as you supply them with a proper 5-volt, you can use a lot of the little Arduino systems. I actually have this really cool kit right here. This is like a starter Arduino kit, and it has a bunch of different sensors. What do we have? We have LEDs, we have two-way colors, we have touch sensors, we have motion sensors, we have heat sensors, water sensors, and a lot of these can be hot wired and used without an Arduino as long as you input the right voltage and you're making it do kind of what you need it to do. The ones we obviously can't use are like toggle switches and stuff, or like joysticks and multicolored RGB LEDs, so don't worry about those. We have reed switches. We have a bunch of different wires. This is my assortment of wires. I'm going to kind of go over the magnetic faceplates too. I got these out, some servos, some LEDs, some 3-volt LEDs, JST connectors, USB power packs that actually utilize batteries, so you can actually get like rechargeable batteries, put them in here, and power something with a USB cable. So those are pretty cool too. So look at a lot to cover. So hopefully you guys can learn something from this. I'm not going to be like I'm not going to be in detail explaining every single thing on the suit and how it's all integrated and how it's all. No, I'm going to show you each individual system. It'll be up to you guys to then go and, oh, that's how the LED eyes work. Well, if I integrate that into, all right, the faceplate when it so you guys will be able to apply this to really anything. Everything in there can be applied to in here and really anything you need it to. So let me skim the chat and we'll reposition the camera and roll right into it. Hi guys, thank you. It's beautiful. It's great to see you all. Fresh trim. Yeah, I finally got rid of my COVID hair for now. I haven't started my electronics yet, but I will do that if you watch the stream. Yeah, this is probably going to be one of those ones you like rewatch a couple times. I haven't done an electronics tutorial. Well, that didn't take long. Uh-oh. Yeah, so it's probably gonna be one of those type of nights. I need to just I need to clear out my entire computer. All right, I'll be more cognizant of it too. I'm pretty sure one of you got a pretty good screenshot of that, and if not, it'll probably rewind and get it anyway. So have fun with that. I'm gonna need therapy after this stream. Yeah. PSOA avoid spamming and all questions will be answered in the chat. Yeah, I already saw somebody joined in and was like already spamming. I think that means I'm growing because we have mean people who just joined to curse me off. So that's awesome. That's fun. Yeah, no spamming, no cursing, no foul language, no politics, no hate. You will be banned immediately. I'm not tolerating any of that. Like not even muted. You will just be banned from the channel. I don't care. Yeah, we don't need you here anyway. Rip face cam 2020 sadly pass. No, internet's been good today, Jinx. So let's see, where do we want to start? I think we should start with just basic LED circuits. How to get an LED light to turn on. We'll kind of cover different ways you can trigger and activate LEDs, and then from there, maybe, we will later on, we'll talk more about the servos and using relays to control the faceplate. You can use relays to do anything. You can use relays for the lights. A relay is basically a railroad crossing. You hit a switch and the track, instead of going down one way, you hit a switch, the electricity either, it'll switch from one track to the other. That's the best way to describe a relay. Or some relays even only have one output. So the electricity has nowhere to go, it's coming off, not going anywhere. You hit a switch or activate the relay, the electricity that wasn't going anywhere now goes into another circuit, and then so theoretically you could have a green light and a red light, and then when you activate the relay, it'll switch from green to red to green to red as you turn it on and off. Relays are really, really simple. Once you understand them and have that kind of in your toolbox of knowledge, you can do anything with them. It is absolutely great, like control an Iron Man helmet. So, barring technical problems, yeah, I ate Minecraft during the 7. Okay, cool. Yeah. So let me reposition the camera, kind of get a better angle here. And so it's going to be a little jittery and jarry. So let's do this. Let's see. Can we get like a high angle here? I don't know. I'm still working on this gimbal. It's a new gimbal, but yeah. Let's see. Will you hold? Hold the door. Is that? Can I get in trouble for that? Oh, I'll put the water bottle underneath it. Yeah, this is getting real fun. Yeah. So we'll do that, and then we'll lift the light up. All right. I was literally doing electronics work all day, so I just got my desk cleared, and it's cleared is a strong word. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. All right, cool. So let's jump into it. We're gonna start. Let me cover just a few things. If you want to start getting into electronics, let me try to make the screen bigger. So if I do freeze, it'll be easier for me to notice. And it is very hard for me to see the chat, so if you are asking questions, I'm not going to see. So 15 minutes, hold your questions for 15 minutes while we go through some of this. Now you can get, the first tool you're probably going to need is some type of wire strippers. Now these aren't wire strippers. These are obviously just the nippers that come with your 3D printer. But these are absolutely great once you learn how to use them for stripping wires. Now you can get automatic wire strippers. I even have them in the garage. I just forgot to grab them. So you strip the wire, you make a small cut in it, and after you make the very tiny like little cut, you angle them and it pulls and strips the wire. So you will, this happens all the time. You'll just, oh, oops, I cut it. Oh, oops, I cut it. And then suddenly your wires are different lengths, and then you'll do this, you'll cut that, and you'll go to strip this one, but then you'll cut that one. You're like, wait, no, so that will happen a lot to you. So learning to strip wires effectively will help, but they do make little tools for it. And let me show you how to wire two wires together. Let's start with that, shall we? How I wire wires together, I twist them up like that, and then you take the two wires, and then you cross them, and you leave just a little bit. You don't butt them all the way up to each other, you leave just a little bit. And then what I'll do is I'll fold them over each other and make a candy cane basically, or a spiral, and you wrap them around, and I've been doing this for years, at least, God, since I was 14, 15. I grew up on cars, a lot of you know that. So if you do this tight enough, like that, you know, let me zoom in a little bit. It'll actually let the focus work a little better. Cool. So if you do that, it actually turns out pretty strong. Now sometimes a lot of my props, nothing in my suit is soldered. I trust my wiring skills. So if I pull on this hard enough, and I'm pulling, I really have to pull to get that back apart. So if you're going back in, adjusting things, nothing in the suit's moving so much that I don't trust my own little wiring skills, but feel free to drop some solder on there. That's totally up to you. When you use, I don't have my soldering iron set up. I didn't feel like, I'm not doing a soldering tutorial right now. But when you're soldering wires, you're going to take the tip of your soldering iron, pretend it's this, you're going to hold it to the wire, and it's good to actually put a little bit of tension on it. So you're going to pull, like you're actually going to heat the wire up. You're not trying to melt the solder into the wire. You're trying to heat the wire up enough to where it actually melts the solder for it and sucks it into the wire. And once you get it hot enough, you'll see the solder just get pulled right in. But for the sake of this, I'm not doing that. And then what I'll do is I'll take just a little bit of vinyl electrical tape. Please don't use duct tape. Just don't use duct tape. Get electrical tape. And you throw it around. And you wrap it around. And I trust this. I'm comfortable with that. I can pull on it pretty good. It's not going to come off. And now I've just gone and made one whole new wire again. So that's fun. So that's how you strip and connect wires. That's step one. You're going to need to know how to do that. Practice, 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 practice. Cool. So you have that, and you need something to wire it to. The best thing I suggest for you guys getting into electronics and learning how to do LEDs and stuff, these little Cosplay LED eyes are everything you need. It has a battery pack, it has a switch, it has LEDs, and it has a good amount of wire. Play with these, mess around with these, do whatever you want with these. If you strip them down, they look like this. That's the LED right there, taken out of these LEDs. I don't want to ruin these, so I'm not going to. So deal with it. Cool. So you want to start playing around with LEDs, and you're like, all right, how do I make a switch? All right. So I've already gone and cut this one apart, and it's very simple. And I'm realizing now I don't have batteries. Where are my batteries? Thanks, remote. Cool. This is a very basic electrical circuit. There's a switch. It allows the electricity to go through the red wire, hit the LED, come through the black wire, rinse, repeat. This is a 3-volt LED. It uses 3 volts of electricity. Each battery puts out 1.5 volts. It even says it on there somewhere. Where is it? 1.5 volt. It's right there. It's really tiny. I promise. I promise. So that's a very simple LED. You do not want to put 5 volts to this. This USB battery pack I have right here, this is 5 volts. If I go and take another battery pack and wire it together, I put the red to the red and the black to the black, this is now going to be a 6-volt system. That LED will get a lot brighter, but it has a high chance of burning out much quicker. You put 9 volts or 12 volts to that LED, it will burn out. It'll work real good real quick and then never work again. So don't do that. So that's a simple circuit. It already, oh wow, why did you just turn off? Okay, we're good. We still live? All right, sweet. So this is the simple circuit. A lot of you guys already understand this, I get that, all right? But this is literally how the faceplate, the LED eyes in my mask, when they open and close, this is how they work. This is a limiter switch. If you're 3D printing, you recognize this. This is on your end stops. Your little click? Yeah, right there. Click, click, click. Now, what this does, and it has 3 contacts, and you'll see that it's labeled on one side. On one side, it says NC, NO, C. And what that stands for is normally closed, normally open, and common. Common is your input, if you want it to be. So if you put electricity through your common, normally open means that circuit is open. It can't get electricity. Normally closed that means that circuit is getting electricity. So as the electricity comes in through this common, it goes through the trigger and comes out here. The far ends are always connected until you press the trigger. Now, the middle one is getting electricity and this one stops getting electricity. So if we utilize that kind of concept and we put, let's see, I want the eyes to turn on every time I close the switch. So I don't want the normally closed circuit. I want the one that's at rest open. So I'm going to throw the wire on through that one. Now they make connectors and stuff for this, but I don't feel like wiring them all up right now. That'll be something for you guys to add to your toolbox as you grow. There are types of connectors and relays and circuits and just things I don't even know I know about until I need them. And I'm sure you guys can apply that to a lot of things in your life. When my wife's cooking or like we're making something and she's like, oh, grab this thing. I'm like, I've never even heard of that. You just start to learn things and you store them into your little memory toolbox. You know, I hope that makes sense to a lot of you. Where like there's just different types of plugs and connectors and core wire that, you know, you guys don't know about yet, but as you do this and as you learn, you will begin to figure it out. Like, oh, I can use this. Oh, I can buy that. So that's all this is. And so now we have the trigger wired here. Turn the light back on. And every time, hopefully if I did this right, see? So now when I hit this trigger, the switch will turn on and off. I think that's pretty cool. Very simple. So now what you could do is you could put this in your mask, and when you put the face mask on and it closes, it hits the trigger. Now this is metal. You could, if you wanted to, you could bend this. You could do whatever you want to this. You can manipulate this all you want. You could 3D print or make a longer lever arm. As long as that button, it's just a little red button hiding in there. As long as that gets pressed, your light will come on and off. Now if I go ahead and take this wire off and I attach it to the far end, notice that the LED is on by itself until I press the trigger. So now it's open until I break the circuit. So these limiter switches are really handy. I mean, they're what's in my wrist for my repulsors. When I actually rock my hand back, this trigger is sitting right there inside my gauntlet, or inside my forearm. So when I rock my hand back, it clicks and it allows my repulsor to light up. It's the same circuit, just a different LED, and it's just wired exactly the same. So you can utilize these in a multitude of props. And I actually had this exact type of trigger switch inside my ether. I meant for that to happen. Now there's actually a little remnant of it. There's a little bit of glue right here, and I had a limiter switch sitting right here. So every time I opened this, the LEDs would turn off, and I actually had to make a little bracket right here. So when I actually closed the lid, it would hit the trigger. Now what I have is something a lot simpler, and this applies to kind of our next step. How do you call, like, 6 minutes, guys, 6 minutes. I almost started reading the question. So this is my ether, okay? Let me try to zoom out just a little. There's the infinity stone sitting in the top, and I don't know what's rattling in there, and that's going to annoy me. Whatever. Yeah. So when I take the stone out, the light will turn off. Put the stone in, take the stone out. You can probably just barely see some little metal contacts hiding right there. See them? Oh. Now, if I bend them together, if they touch, the lights turn on. This utilizes this exact same system. Those two metal posts are actually just connected to two wires. So when I actually put when I put the stone on it with a very tiny little magnet on the back, it completes the circuit and electricity can pass through. So you can get really creative. Magnets absorb electricity. You can even get special aluminum foil tape that absorbs electricity. And aluminum foil in general is very conductive. So you can just drop this on. If I want to just leave it on at all times, I can just bend them so they touch each other. Let's see, let's bend them apart just a little bit, and then we put the magnet back on. So all hidden in here is just a couple wires, and the lights are floating in there. This is just a rechargeable LiPo battery, and we'll talk about LiPo batteries a little later. So that's actually how my ether works. It's very simple. I think it looks impressive. You know, you go open it, and you're like, oh, look, take the stone out, and then it turns off. But I literally just showed you with this exactly how it works. So hopefully somebody's already learned something and that this was worth it, because I like explaining electronics. All right, let's see, what's next? All right. Okay, we got that. We explained a basic LED circuit. Hope you guys understand that now. So we're gonna actually continue to use this. And the next thing I wanna actually show you guys is, well, you've already seen these magnets, right? The purse magnets. I have them on the suit. I have them on my my magnetic face plates, and this again utilizes that exact same concept. If I go ahead, I'm gonna hold them together. So I'll hold this one here, and I'll hold this one here. So that LED's off. All right, you can see it. Connect them together, and then the LED turns on. These ones are way stronger than my other ones. Oh my god! Wow. So even if I touch the sides together, see, nice clean metal. Now, be careful when you order these on Amazon. Sometimes you'll get like these tarnished ones. They're meant to look a little bit more rustic. They're not as clean. See, they're not as reflective. You might have to sand these. Just literally hit them with some sandpaper, sand them down, and they'll absorb electricity a lot better, or conduct electricity a lot better. They're not absorbing anything. So that's how those work. Again, we're just breaking the circuit and interrupting it. So we went over that. Cool. Let me explain some types of wires real quick. These are 4 types of wires. Get wires, buy wires. I believe this is an 18 or a 20 gauge wire set, and it comes with, I guess you could call it a 2-core wire. So this is a pretty beefy wire. These are thick wires. This actually might be 16 gauge. They also have ribbon cable. Now you might have seen this on some LED LED lights you can put in like your house or your room or even your car. And this is for RGB LEDs, and it has 4 wires. And I actually have a little bit of this throughout my suit, and it lets you run wires a lot more clean. Like, it's nice and flat, it's bendable, and then it has 4 separate wires inside of it. And see, I already just broke it. Look at that, because I don't have wire strippers, and drop wire is somewhere crying right now. So we do that. All right, and they don't touch each other. So you can use this to wire through your suit. They even make something. This is 6 core or 8 core? Where is it? 6 core. This is one long white wire, but if you cut it open, there's actually 6 tiny wires hidden inside of it. Again, great for space management, and actually running if you were to run this through the arm of your suit, like, it would only take up that much room. It's nice. It's a lot cleaner. It's a lot easier to manage, and then you can just wire it into anything. So there's that, and they even make, I think this is 10 core, or no, this is 8 core, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, so this is 8 core wire. And it's all color coded, so you know, red's here, red comes out there. So this stuff, this is absolutely great. I just ordered like 100 100-foot roll of this on accident. I thought it was like 10, but yeah. So you're gonna start loading up on just bits of wire for making different props and whatever the hell you want to actually do with it. And then here's the wire that we repaired. So we'll move that over there, move that over there. Triggers, I'm gonna clean it up just a little, and we'll go to our first round. Of questions, and I'll read the chat. Hi guys, how are you? I need a drink. That was a lot. I don't think I've done that much talking in a while. I haven't filmed in a while actually. The videos I just uploaded were all pre-recorded, so I meant to upload different ones, but we'll live. So what did I miss? Ask your questions. We'll do this like 5 minutes, and I'm gonna ask. No, I'll answer the good questions. Yes, the suit is 3D printed. Looking to upgrade my printer soon. I'm thinking Creality. The V2, it's all right. I still like the normal Ender 3 with a bunch of upgrades. My stock, my base Ender 3 with all my upgrades on it outperforms the V2 all day, and it's still like $50, $60 cheaper. Do you think the system is better than magnets? There's no one best system. It is however you want to apply to it. There are some people who might look at my like Infinity Stone props and be like, dude, why did he do it like that? He could have done it like this. It's all about what you know and what you're comfortable with. So whatever, the best system is the system that works for you. That's it. That's it. He is screaming right now. How much was that 100-foot roll of wire? It was like 20 bucks. It was like 20 bucks on Amazon. Hold on. So they didn't actually send it to me rolled up. This is a empty filament holder. So I just rolled it up with it. It was so much. There's so much wire here. It's obnoxious. So I have a whole roll of this. This right here is 50 meters. Yeah, this was so cheap. This was like $10 and $20, I think, or 20 pounds, so like 30 bucks. Worth it. So worth it. Get zip ties too. They never tell you this. No one ever tells you this. Get a thing of tiny zip ties. I've had this container for like 3 or 4 years, and I use it to zip tie wires and cable, just general cable management. I'm a stickler for cable management. And then this is the 2-core wire. Whole roll of this stuff. 18 gauge. I was right. This was 200 feet of 18 gauge, and this was 15 bucks. And you'll see this roll sitting in the background of some of my first update videos. I've had this forever, and I've wired the entire suit. So, the more you know. What microcontroller do you like using for your projects? I don't use a microcontroller. Welcome to the channel. You must be new. What is that? Is that just a YouTube button? How'd you do that? How can I scale for free the suit's parts Mark 7 to 3D print? Print test rings. If you watch my scaling tutorial, my scaling video on how I didn't do it, but how I explain, you can print parts to test if things will fit you. Hey Frank, do you have any recommendations to where I should buy the wires? Amazon and eBay, man. It is amazing for it. AliExpress, Banggood, whatever. I love cheap Chinese electronics. Dirt cheap Chinese electronics. That's it. That's it. Hey Frank, you're using magnet system on the power orb? No, I got rid of the magnetic system because I wanted to be able to hold it. So I actually went and added a little toggle switch right at the bottom. It blends in pretty nicely, actually. So this orb is exactly the system. That LED you see in there is from an LED cosplay eye. And it just has a little magnet on it to hold the stone. Literally what I just showed you is in here. Hidden inside of it is a rechargeable LiPo battery. It's a battery about this big. It's a 3-volt LiPo battery with a 3-volt LED. And that's my entire power orb. This is a very simple system. I just made my first Iron Man helmet with my JG Maker Magic, and I was using the rubber bands to make the faceplate stay up. Ooh, that's smart. I've seen people use rubber bands on the hinges. That's really smart. So the 8-wire, can you connect any of those wires to like the positive and negative, and also connect multiple wires to one? Yes, yes. You see, you've already figured it out. You absolutely could, at one end, connect all of these wires together, positive, and then negative. So one side can be a positive and negative, and then on the other side, you can run out multiple LEDs, and as long as they all go back to that same negative, it'll work. Yes, you can 100% do that. Look at that. I just actually unsheathed it. Oops. Oh no, I'm never gonna get that back in. Oops. Look, here, all the wires came out. And what's also nice about having a bunch of this core wire is you can do exactly what I just did on accident. You can take it apart and cannibalize it. So now I have, instead of 100 feet of, you know, solid 8-core wire, I have 800 feet of 22 gauge wire, however you want to look at it. So that's a lot of wire. Go buy a roll of 800 gauge or 800 feet of 20 gauge. It's going to be a lot more expensive than that. Can you start experimenting with resin printers? Maybe. What's the helmet behind the Iron Man helmet on your desk? Don't worry about it. I watched your Red Hood. How are you? Is Mr. Built having a good day? Danny Curry, he is. Welcome to the chat, man. You know a lot about electronics too. You can hang around, bounce some ideas. I watched your Red Hood video and was curious if the battery pack in the front of the face gets uncomfortable or anything in the wire is better. No, it doesn't even touch me. That battery pack sits like right here. That's why I put it there. You have to experiment around with it. On one of my helmets though, I did put, the battery pack was still sitting on the faceplate, and I put the soft side of Velcro, like not the hook side, the loop side I think it is. I put the Velcro there so when it like rubbed on my nose, it didn't hurt at all. You can put foam, you can do really a couple different things. Any money saving tips when buying wire components? No. I am not plugging them because I am not sponsored by them. I have used Honey on Banggood and eBay, and it has actually saved me like a couple cents. Honey, sponsor me. What kind of light did you use inside the Mark 85 suit? We are going to get to that. These are 12 volt COB LEDs. The Cosplay LED eyes and the Infinity Gauntlet has some special 12 volt LEDs from another website. We are going to get to that. Just about the Sierra Tennis Pro, would you advise to buy the V1, V2? If you can afford the V2, get the V2 because it already has the BL Touch installed and the newer firmware. Why not? It's fire and forget. Hey Lewis, what's up? What video are you doing the Crashworks helmet? This video, are you? No, I am not. I have the Crashworks kit printed. It's actually right here. See? Crashworks. That is a separate video. I used the Crashworks kit in this helmet, and I'm going to do one of these helmets down here. I don't know if you can see them. You can't see them. I have some helmets down there printed for the Crashworks, and it's going to be one video on how to install the hinges and the Crashworks system, and then there's going to be 2 different videos. One about how I wire the helmets, and one about using Arduinos, because someone awesome was kind enough to send me an official Crashworks kit for motorizing a helmet. You don't need to program this. This is good to go. You get this, and you wire. I know it looks like a lot, but like, it's like for servo 1, servo 2, LED I1, LED I2, auxiliary. Like, this is everything you need. This is going to be for the 3rd video. So there's so much to cover. I can't do it all in one video, or you will be there forever. And some people don't need to know how to do the wiring or like the servos. They just need to know how to wire it up, or vice versa. So I want to split them up. Is there a way I can display my Iron Man helmet like you can? Like, what can I make to display? So Game Revives, if you go on Amazon, not Amazon, Thingiverse, people have made helmet stands that look like, it's like a paper towel holder, basically. Or you can go to Bed Bath & Beyond and buy like a really cheap paper towel holder for like your kitchen, and it makes a really good helmet stand. Or you can print one. People make them to mount on walls and stuff, so you can really do anything. Jack, what's up with that? Yeah, no spam. No spam in the memes. That counts. We won't ban you for that first time. You found a gray area. Don't abuse it. Honey wants to know your location. Do you at times have to program the electronics? I have never had to program any electronics yet, so no. Do you build your own circuits for flickering, or are those pre-built modules? Flicker LEDs are things you just buy. Hold on. Let's see. Oh no, are these? Don't tell me they're dead. Okay, this is a flicker LED, and you can just barely see it flickering. There's something in there, a microscopic little module. It's called a flicker module, and it's between the anode and the cathode inside, built into the LED. I'm just holding this LED with a battery. The LED is flickering all by itself. I have a video about where I got these. I got these from Halloween decorations, the little tea light Halloween decorations. That's all these are. They're great. Yeah, you can use them for a lot of things. Hey Frank, would the toggle switch work fine in a motorized faceplate, and would I need an Arduino? This toggle switch will work, DPDT switch. This one will work for motorizing a helmet, and I'm going to show you how to install this into this helmet and get it to open and close without programming. Also, really nice seeing you with a really cool setup. Score so far watching. Hey, thanks man. I use a kitchen roll holder for my polystyrene ball of my Batman account. Yeah, they're cheap solutions. Highest possible 3D print an Iron Man suit and Arduino Free. Yes, it is. I don't recommend it. You are gonna more than double the amount of time you need to print. It is possible though. I'm not deterring anybody from it, but you're going to have to print a lot more stuff. So just be careful. And we're gonna stop the questions. I'm gonna Jacob Sylvester. You're the last one, and then we'll go back into this. I thought I froze for a second there. Possible, but not recommended. Yes. Did you use the 8-wire in your gauntlet? No. So any of the core wire I just showed you, I haven't put. I don't know why that happened. Sorry. Thanks, Danny. I see it. That's never happened before. Like three people just started messaging me on Instagram like, yo. That wasn't a technical failure. That was me accidentally unplugging my lav mic. So that's my bad. What was the last thing you guys heard? Do you have any tips to getting a good connection for the magnetic faceplate? Because I am. Sand the magnets. Make sure they're sanded. You don't have paint on them. What was that plastic? I don't know what this industry was gonna say. Plastic thing. I don't know what plastic thing you're talking about. Yeah, we're back. Cool. We're gonna go back into it. We'll probably hit the next questions around in like 18, 19 minutes at the hour. Yeah. Hold on, I need a drink. Sponsored by definitely not Coca-Cola. It was my gauntlet question. I don't know what I said after that. I'm sorry. Oh, okay. LED eye. All right. Yeah. The LED eyes, there is a right and wrong side to these. There is a textured side and a smooth side. The textured side is those white painted dots. That's what's reflecting the LED light outwards. So you want the rough side to be towards your eye. If you turn it around, those white dots are going to reflect the light into your eye and you won't be able to see. With that, some of them are brighter than others. If they're too bright, you can lower the voltage. You can get a potentiometer to lower the voltage, or you can use resistors. Yes. You cut out before. Yeah, cool. Yeah, sorry about that.
Guess who spent 45 minutes figuring out why my magnetic eyes wouldn't work and found out I had clear coated my magnets? I've done that. I've done that. What was the wall thickness? Stop Cura settings. I don't know. I remember that question. All right, so we're gonna roll back into it, guys. Let me adjust the camera back down, and we're gonna get more advanced. We'll call the first bit beginners, and now we're gonna start getting into a little bit more advanced stuff, like reed switches, which are my favorite now. And I still don't know who introduced me to them, but you are my hero. All right, I'm working on better springs for my my camera system, so that'll hopefully help with like the armature works great. It's just the springs can't hold my DSLR, even though in the picture it is holding a DSLR, which blows my mind. The eye things are like if you get them on. If you order them in bulk on AliExpress, they're like $3 each. This is 20 of them. Order in bulk. Hey, look, ribbon cable. This is a 10 wire ribbon cable, but it's made for it's not made for like LEDs and stuff. Not really. It can be though. Cool. So we're moving into it. All right, we went over the core wire, so I pulled all the wires out of the core like an idiot, so that's fun. All right, we talked about that. We talked about that. We're going to continue to use this. We're going to talk about that thing. So, relays. We have the LiPo battery. We talked about the battery pack. All right, so there's different batteries you can get. I want to talk about that. Yeah. So, this is a 3-volt LiPo battery. It has a positive and negative. You can buy connectors for this. I didn't. What I did instead is I took so here's the LiPo battery hiding in my power orb. I wired in my own connector. So my LiPo battery has 2 connectors on the end now. One for charging and the other one that lets me plug in to the system. So that's the whole system right there. LiPo battery, positive and negative, and then I can still charge it. Easy. You can see how much space I had to cut out of here just to get the LiPo battery to fit. But this thing will run for days because of this battery. It uses no power at all. And then I had to hollow out the inside here, but let's see if I can get this back together. I probably won't be able to. I might just have to worry about this later. I don't know if I want to mess with this for the next half. Oh, yeah, here we go. Hey, we're back together. It doesn't want to stay in. Stay. Okay, cool. Tink. Yeah, usually the outside, you'll notice this on a lot of people's builds. The outside looks great, and then when you start opening up people's electronics, it looks like dookie. Like, so this is a 3-volt LiPo battery. This is a 7 volts. I'm Ron Burgundy. 11 volt. This is an 11.1 volt LiPo battery. So this is actually powering the LEDs in here are from my car. They're from a taillight of a car. They're 12 volt LEDs, which means they can run 11 to 14 volts usually. So that's what's powering this. And again, I just wired it in, and I still have the little charger port sitting right up there so I can charge it. Let's see, the 3 volts. And then in the Tesseract, again, little toggle switch. This toggle switch came from this. This is the same switch. I cut this open. Oop, there goes the space stone. So we'll do that. And let's see, I know I have one in here that I ripped open. Give me a second. Is it this one? No, it's not you. You're in here. I know you're in here. There it is. So these Cosplay LED eyes, because sometimes you won't need them anymore. If you break open the little cover right here, you can actually go ahead and rip out the switch. So look, now I have a super tiny toggle switch, and it's the same kind of connectors. The same connectors I was showing you on this little limiter switch, 1, 2, 3, that's the same way this switch works. You input electricity on one, and then there's a live output and a open output. So depending on where the switch is, it turns the light on and off. And now I can take this if I want. I can cut this off. Like, look how tiny that switch is. You can hide that. You can hide that almost anywhere. And that's exactly what I put in the bottom of my Tesseract. And it controls a LiPo battery. The inside looks like dookie. I'm working on it. And then there's a I believe this is a 7 volt LiPo battery in here, kind of hidden by the cloth, the cotton balls, and it just turns on and off. My next step for this is it's going to do the same thing the ether does. When I take the stone off, the lights turn off. And that's going to be just interrupting the circuit. We've already covered how I do that. See, you guys are already learning something. We're applying what we've learned. We're growing together. Yep. So, and then this is a 5 volt LED battery pack. This is what you use to charge your phone. Like, people have these. It's a power bank to charge your phone. How do you wire this into an LED? I'm glad you asked. I'll feed you, baby birds. Please stand by. And then I'm just going to throw this battery pack out or do what I want with it. Yeah, I have plenty of those. I have like 20 of those actually. So, LiPo batteries. You have to be careful with LiPo batteries. Do your research on them. Some of them are problematic. They can overheat. If they're charged wrong or they're put on the wrong charger, they can cause problems. So just be careful with these. I don't use these in my suit because if one of them was to like melt or fail, I can't get the suit off quick enough. So, yeah. So do your research on LiPo batteries. All right, cool, that. Speaking of LEDs, these are just some cheap Christmas LEDs that also, actually, we'll use these. We're gonna power these. We're gonna move away from this little LED system. And if you guys go and take something like, everybody has USB cables. I think everybody in their house has a junk drawer full of USB cables that you don't use anymore. That's what you want. You don't need the micro USB. If you go and cut them open, see? And you strip the wires back, we already learned how to strip wires, there's a positive and negative in there. Now, sometimes you'll open them up and there might be 4 wires in there. Those are more for data. 2 of them do work though. Typically it's the red and the white. There might be a blue and a green additional one. You can test out which ones work. So let's see. Actually, let's do a live test because I have one over here. Here we go. So I cut this one open and there's 4 wires in it. And I don't know which ones actually provide power. So let's find out. So we're gonna, like I said, I'm pretty sure it's the red and the white. So let's strip this back. Make sure they're not touching when you plug them in. So they're wired apart. So let's plug it in and we're gonna turn the battery pack on. All right, so it's not those 2. Let's see, let me unplug it and strip the other one. So maybe it's black, maybe it is black and red or white and red. I highly doubt it's green though. I highly doubt that. Oh, and I just broke the green. Oh, please don't be the green. Watch, it's gonna be the green. All right. Take it easy, G. Thank you for dropping by, man. I really appreciate it. Nope. I'm literally just trying to activate the battery pack and see what happens. Because these battery packs have a safety feature on them where when you touch the wires together, they should turn off. But I'm actually curious on why none of these are working. So let's do this. Black and red, black and red. All right, so it is. So the black and red wire coming out of it will turn on my LEDs. See? So now I have a USB powered LED light. And I'm very curious on why the safety feature on this battery pack isn't working, because it should power off by itself. There it goes. So the battery pack's on. You can see the little blue lights right there. If I touch these wires together long enough, it automatically turns off. It has a protect system in it. And the battery pack I have inside my suit does the same thing. Try not to utilize that. Don't rely on that as a failure point. Not all of them have that. So definitely be careful. So we're gonna cut this open. We're gonna use this from here on out now that I know what colors they are. So I don't know if the other ones are still getting power, so I'm gonna cut them at different lengths. So I cut the green and the blue, or the green and the white at different lengths, so they're just not, they can't possibly touch each other, especially if I wrap them up like this. They're not gonna intersect. So we'll do that. We'll get rid of this LED eye, we've seen that already, and we'll move that one over there. Put that. Getting a lot of stuff on the desk. So we're gonna power, I wanna power these LED lights. Now these came with a 3-volt battery pack, 2 AA batteries they needed. So they should only get, or no, kidding, this was a 5-volt. This came with, yeah, it's the one that's went to my Samus helmet. This is a 5 to 6 volt LED string. So that's why we're gonna use this USB battery pack to power them. So let me get this untangled. Now, both of these wires are black. What's really cool about LEDs is they will literally only work in one direction. So if you hook up LEDs and they don't turn on, flip them. So we'll put that back in, turn that on, and then let's just test them out. Okay, so that's not working, flip them. Now it's working. All right, so we'll do this. Just a haphazard wire. I'll feed you baby birds. You guys are awesome. I hope you guys, is this working? Is this working for you? Did you guys learn something? There we go, look at that. Look at that. Now I have a USB powered LED system. And it'll time out eventually. This battery pack will time out eventually because it's not getting enough draw because LEDs don't use a lot of electricity. Cool. So now you know how to utilize really old, crappy USB cables. Don't go cutting apart all your USB cables in your house trying to find them. You can buy them cheap online. There's a lot you can do. Like I said, you can even buy these battery packs that take normal wires. And, oh, so see what I did right here? See how there's an orange wire in here? Originally, this was a 1.5, 3, 4.5. I needed a 5-volt battery pack, but this was putting out too much. This was putting out almost 6 volts, so I just jumped one of the connectors. So now I only have to put 3 batteries in there, and it gives me roughly a very strong 4 volt, 4 to 5 volts. So that's what that is. They also make 12-volt battery packs, and it's the same thing. This is a different type of connector. I haven't showed you guys this. This is a barrel connector. And these are also on eBay, and they look like audio jacks basically. And if you buy them, now I have 12-volt wires. So let's clean up a little bit, and I want to show you guys the LEDs I have on my suit. And then we'll go into kind of the servos and the electronics, how to make the faceplate go up and down, because I think, oh, there's one more thing I want to show you before that. I'm lying. So that's that battery pack. We can kind of wrap these up. Look at these. Look at this small connector. I don't know where I got them. I got them on Amazon. I just don't remember the name of them. They're mega tiny connectors, and they're very good for tight spaces. I don't have any left though. I gotta hunt them down and figure out where the heck I got them. Smithgard, you can just rewatch the stream, my guy. No worries at all. You're good. All right, I'm gonna need that for the faceplate. So these aren't loaded. Let me see. Do I have enough batteries in here? So if you're gonna use battery packs like this, I highly suggest you just invest in some rechargeable batteries, because they will save you a lot of headache. Instead of wasting batteries, you can just pop them out and recharge them. What a concept, right? Now, this doesn't have any type of protection system. If I touch these wires together, there will be some either sparks or electricity. So let's put the cover. Oh, see, yeah, this one's starting to give me problems again. This is a very cheap battery pack, so it has some issue. Turn it on. Let's see. I want to show you guys what happens when you connect wires together. We'll do this. Let's see if you can follow it. See them heat up? Yeah, that's bad. Do that long enough and the battery pack will overheat and you'll have a bad day. That's what happens when you don't have a fuse on a system, so just be cognizant of it. This won't kill you. It's just like I could lick these. It'll sting my tongue, but there's not enough amperage in here to do any damage. It's just very light 12 volts, but it could still, if applied in the right system, it could still give you a pretty good shock. So just be really careful with that. All right, so now this is a 12-volt battery pack, not a 5-volt, not a 3-volt. The LEDs that are in my suit are COB LED panels. These are meant for cars. These are meant for the overhead map lights in your cars. I am a car guy. This is what I am comfortable with. So if I take this and I touch the positive and negative of this board, they light up. See? So these are the exact panels that are in my suit. They're kind of bright. I am working on dimming them down, but they work pretty nicely. If you put too much amperage to them, if you put anything over like 2.5 to 3 amps, these things get warm. These things get very warm, warm enough to actually melt some of the plastic on my suit. Ask me how I know that. So yeah, that was fun. Thanks, Hexapod, USB power solved. Yes, you're welcome. So that's, I still have a bunch of these. Well, I wouldn't say a bunch, I have like 4. So a lot of the connections broke, but you can solder them back on. And when they're off, they look yellow, but you can put like covers. These are the same thing that's also in my arc reactor. I have 4 of these behind my arc reactor with a clear PLA cover in front of it. Because clear PLA is absolutely great for diffusing light. See, you can barely see the yellow behind it. If you get real close, you can see it. But yeah, this is a clear PLA raft, and it makes a really good diffuser for like arc reactors and repulsors. Hopefully, you also just learned something there. All right. Okay. No, those don't go there. Sorry, I'm very particular. Where the hell are you? Okay. All right. So that's the 12-volt system. Unplug that, and then we'll move the barrel connector. Where's the female? That is a COB LED. I don't recommend them. I don't. Look into 5-volt Piranha LEDs. Running a 12-volt system is just weird. Not a lot of people do it. It's just something I knew how to do. That's why I did it. I don't recommend it. Would you think you'll make a tutorial video showing the design of your arc reactor and repulsors? I could probably do that. Yeah, that might be a good idea. All right, before we go into the helmet motorization portion of this, let me show you these cool things. These are amazing. These are reed switches. And you guys have heard me talk about these. This is how tiny they are. They are like a needle. They are small. And you can bend them. Just be careful with them because if metal, if you bend them enough, they will break. So you can bend them around and do whatever. This is what's in the fingers of my gloves. I have a reed switch in my middle fingers and my pointer fingers. And how does a reed switch work? Let me enlighten you. Let me show you. We want this again. So this is our little LED system, right? This is the simple circuit. If we touch these 2 wires together, the LED turns on. See? Cool. Interrupt it with a reed switch. So they make them in glass too. It's a glass bulb in there basically. These are much more protected. So now there's a reed switch in the way. The LED is still on. But now, if I take a magnet, this is just a neodymium magnet, and I move it close to the reed switch. Ooh. Oh no, is this one burnt out? Watch, you're gonna make a fool out. There we go, too strong. So, I can't be directly above it. Some reed switches have just kind of weird angles to them, but if you get near it, it turns the reed switch on. If you put too much electricity through a reed switch, if you start putting like 9 volts and 12 volts through it, you will blow it up. What's in there, there's two metal contacts that sit like that far apart. And when you bring a magnet near them, it charges them, and then they're opposing each other right now. But you align, the magnetism pulls them together and closes it. So it's a wireless activation system. So it's very handy. You can put these, you can do so much with these. They're really cool. If I can get it on camera, I will show you one way I'm currently using a reed switch that I'm really proud of. So hold on, and let me take this thing down. I hate taking this off the wall, but I like you guys, so there we go. All right. All right, let's do this. Oh, I'm gonna break this. So this is Loki's scepter, and that is the orb on the, hey, that's how a reed switch works. It wasn't supposed to pop off yet. So hidden in here, right in this little cluster of wires, there's a reed switch. on this cover, there is a magnet sitting right where my finger is. When the cover gets close, it activates the reed switch and lets the blue lights turn back on. And the blue lights overpower the orange light. If I might be able to kind of see the orange light. Yeah, you can kind of see it reflecting on my hand a little bit. So the orange light doesn't turn off. That'd be another whole wiring setup that I don't feel like dealing with, and I'm very limited on space here. But when I take the cover off, the light comes on, and it is a little orange. I need to probably swap it for a more yellow one, and then it's just an LED in there. So I can turn this off. There's a switch down there. So that's the whole system. There's 2 LEDs at the top, right up here. Oh, there's an orange one and a blue one, and then a blue one down here. So see the switch is a little finicky. And then if I just put a magnet near it, it turns on. You can get pretty far. I'm really not even near it. Let's see. There it goes. So yeah, reed switches, you can do a lot of cool little fancy tricks that look way more complicated than they actually are. And this is one of them. Right when I knew I wanted this cover, when I was making this scepter, I'm like, I want the cover to turn from blue to yellow because Marvel was bad at writing that whole idea. I want this to turn on and off when I pop the cover off. And as you can see, this is a clear PLA bulb, and it's nice and translucent, almost like opaque, and it looks great. So I'm proud of that. Let me put this back up. Actually, put it on the floor. I don't feel like dealing with it hanging in on the wall right now. Stay off. This exact system, actually, I don't think I've really ever showed you. I'm still working on the tutorial for this. So this is my Samus Aran helmet, and hidden right down here is a switch. And then hidden over here is a battery pack. There's an orange battery pack right there. See it? And then it's just some LEDs, and I can turn the mask on, and it actually illuminates the faceplate. And this is literally everything I've already showed you can be utilized for this. And it looks great. And these LEDs that I was showing you before, that string of LEDs, this is exactly what I used. I actually glued them in a line above the lens, and they're just glued up there and shining down. So you can get, instead of buying individual LEDs, you can buy these like pre-wired ones, and you can really do anything you want with them. And there is a tutorial coming out for this whole helmet, the visor, all of that, so just be patient, please. I've been slacking lately, and I'm sorry. We're gonna wait for the next string of questions at 9:30 because there's still maybe 9:15. I'll give you guys a little bit more. Does the reed switch have to be connected to the same colored wire, negative to negative? No. Well, oh yeah. So yes, they do. It's interrupting the flow of electricity. That's what it's doing. If I go ahead and let's see, we'll take. What do I have? I need something. I don't know. A wire? Where am I gonna get a wire from? Oh, weird. All the reed switch is doing is interrupting the flow of electricity. So if I take a wire and jump the reed switch, so now I'm just gonna see, I'm bypassing the reed switch. But if I put a magnet near it, the reed switch, you can actually see the reed switch kind of move. Yep, see, it wants to get stuck to it. So reed switches, these are cheap. The whole pack of these was like $7 or $8. Definitely worth utilizing. And let me put this back in the case because these are delicate. All right, so we're back here. Let's get all this out of here. All right, so we've gone over the battery packs. We've gone over the reed switches. Oh, this is also really handy to have. It's a whole little box of different colored wires. They're all the same gauge, and you pull them out through the front here. So this is pretty handy to have on your desk. I'm running low on it though. All right, we got reed switches, we got the lights, we got that. You could also buy strings of LEDs. These are 3-volt LED strips, and if you see where these connections are, let me zoom in real good here. You see these gold connections? You can actually come here and cut these. And then what you do is you strip off some of the plastic. It's a little tricky to get it off, but so now there's a positive and a negative. So if do I have any that aren't? Yes, I do, right here. Let me switch the batteries over real quick. And we will, I promise we're getting to the faceplate. That's on here. That's on the agenda. So this is on. Let me test that it's on by licking the terminals. Yep, that's on. And then we're going to fold these back because I need to make sure they're touching at the exact appropriate spots without touching each other. See? Ooh, let's run in here. So I can light up this LED strip and I can cut every spot there's a scissors, I can cut. So I can have one LED, and you can use these to wire up any proper cosplay item, and you can put these all around your suit, all around your props. You can get, this stuff is so cheap. You just get a whole run of wire in any color, and all you have to do is solder to these. So that's another reason to practice your soldering abilities. I had one pre-soldered, it was kind of bad, and as I was messing with it, prepping for the video, it broke. But that's literally all you have to do, is just positive, negative. And then if you wanted to, what you could do is put a positive and negative wire here, solder wires here, and have it extended, and then like instead of having them like that, you can separate them by wires, as long as the positive goes to positive and negative goes to negative. So having these are the LEDs that were originally going to be in my energy blade. I have tons of them. It didn't make it into the energy blade. That's a story for later. So I have a lot of those. Very, very cheap. And then the last thing before we get to the faceplate is, that's off. That's LED eyes. These JST connectors. These are VIP Moon. JST connectors are awesome. This is a 3-pin JST connector. These are currently what's in my suit. So these have 3 wires in and out. Plug them in, wire them up. That's it, quick connects. And they lock in very nicely. This is what I have all over my suit. And then these are 5-pin ones. Load up on these. They are very, 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 very awesome. Such a pain to solder those after, at least, yeah, the multicolored ones, yes. I actually have, that's funny you mentioned that, Danny, because right here, I have multicolored ones. So not only do these have the 2 connectors, these have 4. There's actually 4 of them. There's a positive 12 volt, green, red, blue. So you could use these analog, but then they're all just gonna light up. So they make little butt connectors you can utilize to connect them together, but they're not the best at all. Those reed switches are awesome, right? They are awesome. You know who else is awesome? You guys, for liking this video. Shameless plug is shameless. All right. You guys have been patient enough. I think it's time we talk about dual pole, dual toggle, dual throw. I always forget. I always mix it up because I know the right word for it, and then in my head I like replace it. And no, that's dual bead. Yep, I'm Googling it because I just can't remember what the heck it stands for. Yeah, I always like mix it up in my head. Double pole, double throw switch. Thank you. Yeah, I always forget. Yeah, the solderless connectors for the LED, yeah, I have them and they don't work. So, let me show you guys this. This is a motorized helmet. As it just closed. So we'll angle this a little bit so you can see better. I want you guys to be able to see, or else this is useless. Cool. So this is a motorized Iron Man helmet. It has my hot wired servos in it. There's 2 servos in there. And this isn't a Crashworks kit, but it was made by somebody who helped that. What batteries you use for the really small project? Double pole, double throw. Thank you. I use tons of batteries, man. The LiPo batteries, LED batteries, tiny coin batteries. My Eye of Augmato. My Eye of Augmato is actually a very simple system. The back of it is one of those little T lights. And then I have I just left it. I can turn it on and off. And then I can open and close it. And it works absolutely fine. Less is more, folks. Less is more. Cool. So this is a motorized helmet. It's in work. The action arms weren't long enough, so it's still loose, but it does open and close. Now, these servos like 5 volts because it's a 5-volt servo. The ones in there, I believe, are the SG. They're plastic. They're the blue ones. Use the MG90 servos. These are black and they have metal gear servos. These are stronger. These are going to last longer. But if you want to experiment, play around with the plastic blue ones. They're cheap. You can, the sky's the limit. And then we'll take the USB cable I have, plug it in. And now we have 5-volt USB power, positive and negative. The positive and negative to my servos. Now we're just going to touch the wires. Now, so I can't open it unless I flip the wires, right? So now we're going to flip them back and forth. And then we can close it. And then we can open it. So that's how I know the lever arms aren't in the right spot, because it's not staying open by itself. If you get the lever arms in the proper position, when this opens, it'll kind of click and lock back into a good position. See? And then I'm still working on it. Ooh. Turn, close. There it goes. How do we control this? How do we make this open and close without having to go sit here and go flip, 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 flip? DPDT switch. That's how. Now they make small ones of these. They make much smaller ones. You can hide this anywhere. You can put it on a suit. You can put it. You can make a little holder for your palm. You can put it in your pocket. So experiment around with these. What you're gonna do is on the back there's 6 connectors. You're gonna jump the outermost connectors. And actually, I might be able to. Here it is. Let's see if we can see it. So if you guys want to take a screenshot of that, that is exactly how you control this switch. It'll be much better. Like this way you can save it on your phone and be like, that's how I wire this switch up when you want to go and experiment and play with it. So take a screenshot of that, come back to the video, watch it, write it down. I don't care. So I've gone and pre-wired that. You're literally going to take just a little bit of wire, jump it corner to corner, corner to corner. Make sure they don't touch. That's why there's a little plastic tab in here. Make sure there's no like stray wires touching, and so it's a really crappy job. It's fine though, I promise you. Now what we're gonna do is, it doesn't matter which top 2 you pick. There's no upside down. It doesn't matter. That's totally up to you. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna wire the servo. You know what? Let's do this. We'll start on. I have a little servo out here. We're gonna do that, and then we'll move over to the helmet. So you've already hot wired your servos. Now remember, the servos, if you're using 2 of them, they're going in opposite directions. So one servo is sitting this way, one servo is sitting that way. If you wire both reds together, they're gonna go in opposite directions. So make sure, basically when you go to wire it, you're gonna wire like the red to if I was using the same ones, wire the red to the brown on the other one. So you're just gonna need, make sure you're aware of that. Or what you'll do is the first time you power it, one arm will go up and one arm will go down, and you can snap something. So I'm just gonna take these. We're gonna move you. Get away! Just crowding my space, dude. All right. Yeah, I didn't make this long enough. I should really get like a breadboard, but I don't know. This is just habit at this point. I don't like how breadboards look either. So you're going to wire the servo or servos to one of the top corners, left and right. Again, it doesn't matter which ones, it doesn't matter which sides, because the positive and negative of the servo don't matter anymore. So there it is. It's wired to the bottom corners, positive and negative. They're not touching. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go and connect the USB cable to the middle ones. Now there's nothing on the middle ones yet, so go ahead and connect those up. And I know a lot of people have been waiting for this video specifically, so I'm sorry. It's just a lot to talk about, and I don't feel like making an hour-long normal video when I can just do it live. So you're welcome. Yep, having trouble. Give me a second. Using that system, do we still need to? No, this is Arduino-Free. Arduino-Free. All right, so it's hard to, it might be a little bit hard to see. So this is exactly how that diagram was wired up. My power is going to the two center ones, left and right. My corners are jumped, and then the servo is on either the bottom two or top two. Plug it in. We're neutral. Okay. Turn it on. You know what? That is very unsatisfying. There we go. You can motorize your helmet. Now, a few of you might have already pinpointed two things. There's no stop. You can hear the, you might be able to hear it on my mic. When the motor goes, see, it's actually jammed. It goes full bore both ways. Now, if I leave this switch on, there is still power going to that servo. I can't move it until I put the switch back in neutral. Now, remember my limiter switches? I'm going to show you exactly how I do the helmets. This limiter switch can tell this motor to stop moving when it gets to a proper position. However, you can't wire it into this motor. If I wire this toggle switch into the positive or negative of the servo motor, I can't close the servo. Because when I open it and it stops, maybe I have when the mask closes, it hits the button, right? The mask's open, close, we stop power to the servo. Now you can't activate the servo to go the other way. This isn't the wire you're gonna wanna interrupt. These are. These jumped wires right here, I can't do it right now because of this. But what I'm gonna do, what you would do is you would cut this one of these green wires and wire in this switch. And what that's gonna do, it's gonna kill one side of the circuit. So no matter what you do, let's see. That way, I think one of the connections came undone because I'm a loser. There we go. And that, and that. Yep, it's stuck. All right. So my connections are coming undone because they're really janky right now. But, so you're not gonna interrupt the power going to the servo. I really hope that makes sense. You need to interrupt the switch telling it what to do, not the power itself. That is exactly how I have my suit wired up. That is a dual relay board. That's what this is. And we're gonna, hopefully we have time to talk about relays. We're actually running a little low on time. But that is the system right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull this off. And we're gonna go and wire up the mask real quick just to show you guys what it looks like in full action. Yeah, hopefully if you guys see people on the Discord asking, you know, electronics tutorials, this might be my ultimate like beginner electronics tutorial, you know, for everything that's in my suit. So hopefully you guys can pass this video around and you think it's worthwhile. I like to think I'm good at explaining things. I've gotten decent feedback from it. So now the switch is wired up to the helmet. An Arduino-free motorized Iron Man helmet right there. USB battery pack, DPD switch, 2 servos. Magic. All right, you know what? We have a little bit of time and I really want to show you. It'll make so much more sense if I do this. So I just cut one of the green wires, all right? Now, the mask should only work in one direction. See? I can't open the mask. I interrupted that circuit. That's exactly what you'll do with this toggle switch. Now, if I can get it just right. Let's see. So the mask is going to be open. It won't open until it's pressed. This is, come on, you can do it. You can do it. I don't have enough wire to strip. There it goes. So, see it trying to open? It's still trying to open, but if I press this toggle switch, it dies. It can't open, and then if I open it, see? So you're interrupting this signal. So in that diagram I showed you, the crossed wires are what you're interrupting, not the wires to the motor. So I hope that makes sense. And what that's going to do, it's going to stop the motors from overextending. It's going to stop them from constantly getting torque on them and risking, overheating the motor. So if I was to connect these two green wires back together, see, you can probably just hear the mask. So let's do this. Okay, now I'm going to turn the switch on, but nothing will happen until I connect these two green wires back up. That's it. That's the entire system, and you can utilize that however you want. I have a limiter switch inside my mask for when the hinge opens all completely and when the mask closes completely, and that's going to kill the power to the switch itself. That's my helmet motorization without an Arduino. It works beautifully. Now, depending on the voltage you put to it and how charged your battery pack is, the mask will open faster or slower. If I put 3 volts to this currently, it'll open a lot. It'll actually open slower. If I put 9 volts, I'll probably just break the whole helmet. So be careful with that. Now, what can we roll into? Ever use USB trigger pullers? Input USB-C, outputs 3 12 volts on the push button, super small. No, Roy Signs, I've never heard of that. You should send me that on Instagram. I'd love to learn more about that. That sounds really cool. All right, okay. So we're done with the servo. Moving along. The last thing I want to show you guys is, now, this might get a little complicated. I'm going to show you how I control the mask with my fingers. And it's going to take a little bit of wiring real quick. But please bear with me. Let me set it up. And this is a relay. This is the relay. This is a dual board relay. I already kind of explained how a relay worked to you. And hopefully you guys were paying attention to that. So let me take this apart. Get rid of the switch. Get rid of that. And ground voltage. All right, so we need the 30. Oh God, I don't remember how I wired it up. All right, let's see. And we need, oh yeah, you know what? I'm not gonna be able to do this. Yeah, I have the diagram though. There's just, for anybody wondering, that is the wiring diagram of my entire suit. These are the systems stripped down though. And I can actually explain this really quick to you guys if you would like. And now you guys will understand this. So this is my LEDI system. And how it works is, here's that 5-volt USB pack. The power goes into something called a flip-flop relay. Now, that's probably for another time. This has memory, basically. Ignore that and pretend that's not there. It goes to the LEDI. It gets interrupted by the little switch. And I'm actually running my LEDIs off of a 3-volt battery pack. So this little toggle switch is just interrupting it. So this is the circuit. This is the relay. When I activate in my finger to turn the lights on, it's going to tell this relay to allow power to go through. But power can only go through when this little toggle switch is pressed. So what I mean by that is, as long as the mask is down and I touch my finger with the reed switch, the LEDIs will come on. And then I can turn them off. Every time I touch my fingers together, on, off, and you guys have seen this in some of the videos, on, off. It's this flip-flop relay. It looks pretty similar to these. It remembers where it was. So I can go on, off. It's an electronic switch basically. And I'm turning it on with this little reed switch on my finger. So this will go on, off, and turn the lights on. Or when I open the mask, it'll turn off. This is for the Infinity Stones. This one's pretty similar too. My 12-volt USB battery pack follows this, and it goes to the LED lights around the body. Positive, negative, simple. That's the whole circuit right there. The only way I turn the LEDs on and off on the body is with the 12-volt battery pack. They also go to the repulsors, but you'll notice right here is a little trigger switch. Right here. So the only thing stopping power from going to the repulsors in my palm is that little toggle switch on my wrist. That's it. And then next is the infinity stones. I have that same flip-flop relay, and the only thing stopping power going to the infinity stones in my glove is the flip-flop relay. The same way I control the lights, that's why I can make the snap pose and turn the lights on and off, on and off. And the flip-flop relay is powered by that same 5-volt USB battery pack. That's the whole system. And then this, if you guys want to take a picture of this, let's see, let's try to get some good light on it. This is how I power my entire servo system on my helmet. And hopefully I can explain this to you guys. And actually, after showing you with the switches, most of you should understand this. I recommend Type C. I love your hood. How do you have the wires so that the circuit works with the finger controls? Is it pretty much the same system? Yeah, exactly. So I am using this dual relay board, and it sits right here. And the middle connectors, you know what, we have time. I'm gonna follow my exact wiring diagram, and we're gonna make this work. How about that? We'll do this, and I'll explain it as I go. I just need to get some screwdrivers. And we're gonna do this on the fly, because I want you guys to see how this all works, or else, you know, what was really the point? So you're gonna open up all the contacts, and I can actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I can get away with cheating a little bit. So remember how I was saying with the electricity, the relay, you have electricity coming through and it goes down one path, and then when you activate it, it goes down another. Imagine reversing that. That's what I did for this. I am now, where the electricity was coming in, that's where I'm hooking up my servo. I'm letting electricity come in through the railroad crossing. What I'm doing is I'm providing negative power constantly to both servos, to both sides of the servo. They are getting a negative at all times. Both wires are getting ground negative, okay? So it can't do anything. When I activate just one relay, which is gonna be one finger or the other, instead of negative going through one side of the wire, I switch over to a positive. Now only one wire is getting positive. And what happens when you put a positive and negative? The motor spins. That's exactly what's happening here. I flipped the purpose of the relays. So let's go ahead and stuff these in. And this is something I learned, again, from just working on cars and just knowing how like I said, once you understand a relay, you can flip the purpose of them. So the middle board, so there. So now the servo is wired into the center contacts, and that's exactly where I want it. If anybody knows automotive, that is the 30 of your relay. Give them a pull, they're not going anywhere. Now what I need to do is on, so how do I explain this? 87A. So the far left on each one, these are independent systems. This whole servo, right? Oh, it's actually, I think that's why. There we go. There's 3 contacts on each. This is the 87, the 30, and the 87A, 30, 87, 87A, 30, 87. I'm hooked up to the 30s, the middles. I need to put negative to the far left ones, so the 87A and 87A. And there's a little picture on the bottom, and hopefully you guys, this will make it so much easier to explain. All right, right there, you can see pictures. And this looks like a little lever. See how it's aimed here? That means this contact right here, and this contact right here are already touching. So I'm gonna put a negative to this one and a negative to this one. So both of my servo motors are getting negative at all times. And I'm gonna do that by, let's see, we can do it this way. All right, I'm gonna have to wire in, yeah, we'll do this. I'm gonna try to do this as quick as possible, guys, just so you can hopefully understand it. It doesn't matter where the negative wire comes from, and I'm gonna actually cheat, and I'll show you what I mean. So negative, negative. So now this negative is jumped together. Yeah, we're good on time. So now those two negatives are jumped together, see? And then I'm gonna cut the end off, strip them, and wire them together. Oh, I lost a little bit there, so let's shrink that down a little. All right. Okay. Negatives. Cool. Great. Now the other side, we're going to need to do positive. So we're going to do the exact same thing. Oh no, kidding. I'm totally lying. That goes to that, that goes to that, and then it breaks up. I'm kind of forgetting how to do this, but we'll be all right. Okay, do that. You guys are watching me in like hyper work mode right now. This is the type of wiring, like this is the type of stuff I think about when I'm like bored at work, like we're not doing anything or I'm hanging out. I'm just like, oh, how can I wire something? How can I do something like this? That'd be really cool. So now the other side of the relay, the side that isn't touching, has positive wires. And again, it doesn't matter. You wire these together. So let me see if I can angle this down just a bit more. Yeah, there we go. So positive and negative. And you can see it here in the diagram. Very easy to follow. Negative goes here to the first one, and then it goes over here to the other first one or the fourth one, and then the positives are at the sixth one, the one at the very end, and then they're just connected together. They're going literally to the USB battery pack. So then we can take our USB cable, and I'm going to wire them up. Okay. And let's plug it in. Oh wait, nothing happens because I haven't got an input yet. So both of these wires are negative right now because they're getting this negative wire. It's all just ground. I need to tell each relay to switch, and that's what we're gonna do next. So let's move this over here so it's kind of out of the way. And I want to throw a little piece of electrical tape. No, I can't yet. I need to actually grab those. All right. Now there's 4 pins here. On this relay board, there's 3, the signal, positive, and negative. This relay board, yeah, it's gonna be really hard to see. There's 4 actual tiny pins, and you can get connectors to help you out with this. So that's what we're gonna do. I do have some things that kind of make this easier, not many. Trying to get it done so we can do the last 15 minutes. Questions, comments, concerns. And I hope I still have your guys' attention. So these are just, ignore the colors because this is literally all I have right now. So we're gonna go ahead and connect these. So we'll do ground on this one. So actually the colors will make a little bit of sense. And then 12 volt on this one. All right, so now we have 4 wires coming out of here. A positive, a negative, and a trigger 1 and trigger 2. So the middle ones, so this is my positive and negative right here, okay? The 2 side ones. Yeah, alligator clamps, probably. Let me see. All right, I'm gonna zoom in on this for the time being. All right, so let me get something to point with. This, ooh, yeah, that. So we have our ground, that's our negative, and then we have input 1, input 2, and 12 volt. Input 1 controls this relay, input 2 controls this relay. So what we have to do now is provide the power that it's requesting to each one. So this far one just wants 12 volt. So we're just gonna give it, or not 12 volt, it just wants 5 volt. So we move that over there. And then we're going to bring this around to our other one, the 5-volt USB battery pack, and wire that together. And I'm going to tuck this kind of under the board just so it's out of the way. This white wire, there we see. This white wire right here is just going to the positive of our battery pack. Simple. And now we need to do the same thing to the negative. I do have a negative wire right here. I'm trying to keep it color coordinated so it's just easier to follow for you guys. All right. And we'll kind of put this one under there too. And this goes to our negative. So now our relays are going to get the proper power. So everything's negative, everything's grounded. Now what we can do is we'll take, I don't know, we'll take this green wire. We'll do that. All right. We'll take this green wire and we'll take this blue wire. These are going to be our inputs. These are going to be us telling the relay to work. Now, these wires are what I have going through the arms of my suit to my gloves. And these are interrupted by reed switches. Do you guys want me to install the reed switches and show you the entire full system, like all of it? Or do you understand what the reed switches do? You know what? I'm here. Why not? Let's do it. Let's do it. I got 2 reed switches right here. And all we have to do... yeah, whatever. We'll do it. Now watch this. I can wire these together. And these are also going to go to my 12 volt, or God, I keep saying 12 volt, my 5 volt. And then we put one reed switch on one. And we put one reed switch on the other. All right, we'll attach our blue. And then we'll attach our green. I should have made that one longer because it wraps around. Trying to make this so that nothing fails and I don't have to troubleshoot it live. All right. Yeah, I definitely should have made that one longer. Yeah, whatever. Okay, everything's wired up. One last little explainer. Okay, we have on this side, everything on my servo is negative right now. And on the sides, because I'm putting negative, these 2 black wires right here that are coming from my battery pack, they are going to my servo. Now I need to activate it. Now you can activate this any way you want. This is how I do it. With the reed switches, now we have our open, or open or close. I'm not sure which one's which yet, but if I take the reed switch and move it close to 1, oh, please work. Don't make an idiot out of me. No. Oh. Trigger 12 volt input, or no, I think they're touching, that's why. I gotta debug it. I don't want to debug it right now. Oh, that's why. Nope, that's my fault. Totally my fault. I have to ground these. I remember now. Right? Ground, read, trigger. Huh. I think I'm forgetting something here, fellas. Yeah. Input, ground, 12 volt. Ah, my connections came out. That's not good. You get debugging live. I really want this to work for you guys. And it's not. Why aren't you working? What happened? What did I forget? Input, input, input. Put 1 and put 2 in voltage. Yeah, I'm painfully forgetting something right now, and I don't know what it is. Boo, boo, boo. Yeah, I don't know why it's not working now. Oh man. The reed switches are probably what's doing me in. I shouldn't have wired them up. Oh no, something's shorting out. It's turning off too quickly. Let me ditch the reed switches. Yeah, something's touching and it shouldn't be. And I need to figure out what. It's the best. Okay, that's better. There we go. Okay, we're good. I had to switch wrong because I'm a weeb. Dweeb, dweeb, dweeb. All right, we're good. I had it set to positive, and they need to go to the negative to ground them out. So now, there we go, folks. I wish I had set it up a little bit better. I really actually wasn't planning to go this in depth into the motorization. I was just going to explain the board to you guys and call it a day, but we're here, so whatever. All right, let's try to get these in a way I can kind of trace them out for you. All right, so one last time, we are providing the side on the relay that isn't touching anything. There's no contact right now. Positive 12 volt, every time. Positive 5 volt, positive 5 volt. Coming out of the common are both wires to the motor, and they're to ground right now because the other contacts are this black wire right here. They're getting the negative, so they're just constantly there right now. So we have these thin red wires are doing the 5 volt, and then right now both servos are getting this black negative. Then what we're doing is we're powering the relay over here, this white wire and this black wire. It's a positive and negative. The same thing. They're going to our 5 volt battery pack. Now we need to activate it. The green wire activates one relay. The blue wire activates the other. Now, if I didn't have the reed switches there, both relays would be turned on right now. The servo wouldn't be able to open and close. Bad juju. But with the reed switch, it interrupts it. Ooh, USB battery pack turned off. So see that light turn on right there? You can just see an LED turn on, and you can hear it click. Now let's open it. Now there's another LED. It's over here. You can't see it, but that's exactly how the motorization system of my helmet works. But we can do one more. I'm not going to wire it in right now, but that toggle switch, which I have no idea, there it is. And no, so instead, not including the reed switch, what you can also do is put the toggle switch there too. So even if the reed switch activates, if the mask is closed, it won't work. Same with the open. I can open it. If I interrupt the green or the blue with the toggle switch, once the mask opens all the way, it turns off and it kills power. So you can then open and close the mask as much as you want. See if both are on right now. Bad. So open, close. Open, close. Wireless magnetic faceplate, open, close, relay, Arduino-Free, XYZ, wear your mask. And that's it, folks. That's it. I think that's going to do it for this electronics tutorial. We can do like a 15-minute Q&A. I can touch and kind of explain anything that you guys didn't quite understand within reason. But yeah, hi. I haven't done a tutorial like that in a while. You guys learned something? Did you guys learn something? I hope you learned something. Do you kind of understand, hopefully, why it's difficult making... That just scared the crap out of me. Maya was scratching her leg against the glass, and I thought the world was ending. Maya, stop. Stop it. I'm trying to set the mood, lower the light. Ha. 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 I can also make it change colors too. Make it red, make it blue, make it green, make it like flash and do disco things, but we won't. So we'll do that, like right there. Cool. Yeah, thank you guys. That was fun. I like explaining this stuff, and you guys seem receptive. Just joined again and thought of this. Instead of a limiter switch inside of the motorized helmet to turn the eyes, you could put a reed switch in the helmet and a magnet. Yes, you could. There's nothing stopping you from doing that. That's it. You would need to run the same type of wires. You would need to be giving the LED eyes power, and then open and close the system. But yeah, 100% you can do that. So in my helmet right there, I can't put a switch in for open. The arms don't have the right action or leverage. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do exactly that. I'm gonna do a reed switch. So once the mask gets to a certain point, through the helmet, it'll activate a magnet and stop power. So yes, you've already expanded on that. Frank, this was awesome, brother. I'm such a beginner when it comes to wiring, and I learned so much. Hey, what's cool is you can rewatch it whenever you want. So I really hope, I hope this turns into my electronics Bible. There are tons of electronics tutorials out there. There's so many. Hopefully this is the video I'm gonna send to you guys now, or hopefully you guys send to people if you like this video. That like, hey, if you wanna learn how to do some of the electronics, motorize an Iron Man helmet in 2 different ways, and with this, there's other ways to do it. You don't need to use a reed switch. What some people do is, instead of putting a reed switch in my thumb, you could put it in your thigh. You could put it somewhere else on the suit. You could put it on the helmet. So when you bring your finger with the reed switch up to your helmet, the magnet activates it, and then you go boop, and the mask will open, and then you hit it and it'll close, you know? So you can, again, these are just tools for your toolbox. And through this, I inadvertently explained all my Infinity Stone props and how all of them work, how Loki's scepter works, how my entire suit works. And you can see that a lot of it's just recycled knowledge. It's, hey, how can I make this work? I just got done with a project that is sitting right there, that is super top secret, that my patrons just learned about, and they still don't even know what it's about. Only one other person knows about it. It's sitting right there, and you guys can't see it. I can't show it to you. And it uses something, it uses a ball tilt sensor. Some of you guys probably saw it on Instagram, where when I lift the sensor up, it turns the light on and off, just from motion. These Arduino kits have so much stuff in them that you just, like I said, don't need Arduinos for. An example, let's see, we have a flame sensor. So it'll, see, that has a 4 input. I'm not sure how to use that one. 2 color LEDs, touch sensors, sound sensors, tracking sensors, buzzers, reed switches, mini reed switches, shock sensors, humidity. Like, there's so many things in here you could use this for. What's it called? Photoresistors and IR emitters, IR receivers. You could use an IR emitter and IR receiver that when you power up the IR emitter, it puts out infrared light like a remote control, and you can line it up with an IR receiver on something else. Just brainstorming here, I could theoretically make my Iron Man suit right there have an IR emitter in the wrist, and when I aim it at like my Infinity Stone props like that, it turns one of them on. You could 100% do that with everything I just showed you how to do right here. That's it. And while I'm aiming at it, it turns on. Now, if you incorporate a flip-flop switch like I use for the LED eyes, actually, I think I have it. I think I was a G and I wired it up. So bear with me here for a second. Right there. See the eyes turning on and off? That's the flip-flop switch. That's exactly what I was talking about. It has memory. It remembers where it is. So when I touch my fingers, it turns off. And it'll stay off until I touch it again. And you know, even if I open and close the mask so the eyes are on, ooh, I'm hitting the other one. The eyes are still on. Turn them off. I keep hitting the other one. The eyes are still off. And then I can cycle the eyes on and off. The reason I incorporated this feature is so I could walk around at night and walk around Comic-Cons. If the eyes were just too bright, I can turn them off without having to open the mask. And that was important because you don't want to break the character, especially if I'm around kids or something. I'm not Tony Stark, and I don't want to break the illusion or anything. So I can turn the eyes on and off, still walk around, leave the mask down, turn them back on, take the photo, whatever. Everybody's happy. And my Infinity Stones are just obnoxiously bright. The reason I have them unplugged is because you can see the lights on the body. The battery pack's dying. I haven't charged it in a while, so they're just kind of sitting off. So we're gonna do that. Yeah, that was a fun one. I like teaching. I like doing that stuff. And your feedback is always appreciated. This was a very last minute. I had no idea what I was going to do this morning. I'm sorry, I should have posted more about this. So here's my glove. It's not plugged into anything right now. I'm still working on the new ones. I'm just slacking. So any final questions, comments, concerns about electronics and all this fun stuff, I can answer them real quick, or we can save it for another video. I'm open to tutorial suggestions, live stream suggestions in the future. Like I said, there is the motorization tutorials coming out. There will be 3 videos for that. I have a couple videos posting this week. I have 2 really cool videos posting this week. One is super awesome, and please watch it. You'll know what it is when it posts. I could really use your guys' support on it. It could be a big deal. I'm really excited about it. And then the other one is just awesome, and I'm excited to show you guys that too. So yeah, this is a pretty big week. Frank, this is all where can we get our hands on that kit, the Arduino kit, that is. I don't know if Crashworks is selling them yet. Stay tuned for that. Once it becomes live, I'll post about it. I'll talk to Dropwire and the creators of it to find out where they will be selling it, if they will be selling it. How you built the light connection in the Palm. So remember the JST connectors I was telling you about? Right there. It's just wired to everything. Each one of these wires goes to the repulsor, the Infinity Stones, the reed switch here, the reed switch here. So that's it. There's the reed switch is coming through here, reed switch is coming through here, and that's just interrupting the circuit. And then I have my 12 volt for my Infinity Stones, and then I have the 5 volt for the repulsor. That's it. It's a very simple. I just got done redoing a lot of the wires to the suit, and they just sit right in there. And then there's a tiny plug, so I can actually do this, because sometimes you need to do maintenance, right? Sometimes you need to take some stuff apart. And I wanted to make sure that I could work on my suit, because it'd be a tragedy if I couldn't. So I can take the palm off. So there's just a little plug sitting on the Infinity Stone gauntlet. And then I can actually slide my hand in. So I can actually use this glove. This glove isn't dedicated to the Infinity Stones. I could print a normal hand topper and put it on this glove if I wanted to. And the only thing that wouldn't be utilized would be this little socket right here for the Infinity Stones. So I could kind of swap them in and out. And now that I'm saying that out loud, I never thought about doing that. And that's a really smart idea. So I don't always have to have the Infinity Stones on my hand. Yeah. Did you mention merch yet? I did not mention merch yet. I'm going to mention a few things in this little outro right here, guys. Frank, you said you had a big head. What size? I wear a 7 5/8 hat, I believe. Yeah, I have a big dome. It's here. Hang out for a few more minutes, okay? This is my Nova helmet. I printed a Nova helmet because Nova's cool. It printed a little small. This wasn't by a modeler I typically use, and I just straight up forgot to scale it. So this might be part of like a giveaway or something. I want to finish it. I want to get the nice gold on it. It's such an easy print. It's just smooth and then a star. It's really easy. This is my 100% Mandalorian helmet. $100% scale DO3D. 95%. This one's perfect. This is the helmet I will be finishing and keeping for myself. And my nose sticks out a little bit, but once the visor's on, we'll be all right. 95%. 90%. It's like really tight, like extremely. So this one, oh, I might just sell this one as a kit. I don't know if but I have 3 Mandalorian helmets now I can test painting techniques on. And finally, because some of you saw it, Gundam. This is Nico Industries Wing Zero helmet. I'm finally finishing it. I've had this thing for almost a year now. However, I printed this at 100%. Look how big this thing is. Right? Right? It still doesn't fit. Ow, and it hurts. Ow, ow, ow. Yeah, the opening is very tiny, so I gotta figure, I might have to heat it up. This was a one-shot print on my CR10 Max, and it killed it. Look at this. Look at that. It looks awesome. I'm excited. Even if it doesn't fit me, this is gonna be so cool on top of my Gundam model collection. Oh yeah, yeah. Even if the face mask came off, it still wouldn't like really fit. I gotta play around with this. So, if you guys haven't seen yet, and it should be right below this video, I have merch now. I have a merch store at teespring.com, and there's links, like literally you can just use YouTube to buy it. It just got sent through. So if you guys are interested in merchandise, it helps support the channel, and then you guys can kind of rock some of this stuff. I like to think I have a nice logo. The graphic designer I hired to do it did a very good job, I think. I will be updating it. I can do a lot of stuff, a lot of different shirts, a lot of different designs. So I want to put out some cool ones too, some 3D printing related ones. I'll probably put something out there like level your damn beds, you know, the kind of classics, but I can add really as much stuff as I want. So if you guys have suggestions or requests, hit me up on Instagram or the Discord, and I'll like legitimately consider them, especially if they're funny. I also have a lot of cool pictures like from my Instagram and stuff that I can put on the shirts and like I can do, the website's amazing. So I want to do some like cool limited run shirts of like some of the photo shoots I've done. I have so many props that I can do a lot with. So please go check that out if you're interested in that kind of geeky stuff. And yeah, now you can buy stickers and do whatever the hell you want with it. So yeah, that's fun. If you guys aren't on the Discord, speaking of the Discord, make sure you join the Discord because it's awesome. We broke 1,500. Am I crazy? No, we're at like 1,300. I don't know. How many people are we at? I'm checking right now. I want to check live. I'm going to check live. How many people are on Discord? Go to that Discord. Go to that Discord. Our Discord. 1,477. We are almost at 1,500 members. Jesus. Yeah, go check that out. It's free. It's about 3D printing and cosplay and all that fun stuff when we get up to shenanigans. Yeah, and if you're interested in my Patreon, go check that out. There's a link for that down below somewhere, but that's not a necessity. It's just fun. And we're finally getting up to some cooler stuff on my Patreon, which is awesome. Have you thought about incorporating some type of voice amplifier? No, I have not. That is a Gungan helmet. About time. Hey, Chris, what's up? You should be able to master. I have no stake in Halo. I never liked it. Nothing wrong with it. I'm just not a Halo fan. If I print a Master Chief helmet, it'll come out so bad because I just won't care. So I'm not going to do that. You should, yeah, Halo. Yeah. Hey, thank you, Kelly. Also nice to see the Mando helmet is just as tight on you. I was worried it was huge. I had a huge. You should do. John Smith, I saw it the first time. No reason to say it 3 times. Once was enough. Gotta head out, but once again, yeah, that's it for the stream, guys. I really appreciate it. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you. We had one camera issue, so I can't really complain. I don't know. Maybe one of my USB. Ooh, maybe one of my USB ports, like specifically, is causing it. I'm gonna have to look into that. Yeah. Will you be making the Mark 85 backpack? No, I do not like it. However, this is about to contradict everything I've ever said on my channel. Ready? I don't like the one from Endgame that much. The one DO3D has, the dimensions look weird. I don't like it. It's stubby. Stubby's the word, I think. However, a model kit for the Mark 85, some random Chinese company just put out a Mark 85 model kit. It is beautiful. It is a chunky boy. You'll see it. I'm building it on the channel. I'm building this kit. I bought one. I bought 2, actually. Don't worry about what the second one's for. It's beautiful, and it has the lightning refocuser backpack, and it's sharper, it's angled better, and it's bigger. It's making me not hate it as much. So here's me contradicting damn near everything I've ever said about that backpack. I might. Yeah. Sorry. Sorry, past me. Feelings have changed. Hey, I never said I was going to print a Mandalorian helmet, and I did. Hey, what are you doing? I also printed Batman-related Red Hood helmets, so... Yeah, times are changing, folks. This isn't a 100% Marvel channel. It never really was. It's just, that's what I started with, so deal with it. That kind of does it. Any closing questions? His 24.5-inch head is worth doing an Iron Man helmet. I don't know. If you have a head, do an Iron Man helmet. That's up to you, man. That's your call. You do you. Do what makes you happy. I'm going to scoot towards the camera and awkwardly transition out of the stream. And you guys have a fantastic week. Again, if there's ever a time you guys watched my channel and watched a video and maybe even shared, I don't think I've ever asked you guys to really share my videos across your own social medias, but like this might be it. And it'll make sense why. It can be really big for me. Thank you for your support. Thank you for everything. Stay safe, wear a mask, happy holidays, whatever you celebrate, wherever you are. Just have a good old wonderful time. And bye.